excited for them to see is just the band playing together. You know, we had such a blast when we were able to do that because we went to band camp for like 3 weeks before we started filming, so we really had a lot of work to put in, and it was cool to see it show.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, in addition to that, I'm gonna go for the band members. I think it's really cool throughout the season that you see the camaraderie that they all have, but you also see the trials and tribulations of what a friendship is. And it's really cool to see how that's like stretched and how far it can be taken. And that's what I really hope like audiences take from it. It's like, you know, your friends are humans too, if that makes sense.
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing?
Oh,
It's pretty good.
Thank you guys for doing this. I'm Eli from Young Entertainment, and we here at Young Entertainment are all about masterclass moments. So we like to learn about, the actor's process and more about the behind the scenes kind of deal of the filming process. So I'm curious, since I have both of you as actors, was there anything that y'all learned about each other through watching each other work and act?
I learned that this guy is like an amazing improver, and like even like everybody forgets lines here and there, but like if he forgets a line, he just makes it even better. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely
That's
something that I've been
awesome.
impressed with.
um, I could go on for hours about what I learned from like MJ, Kiara, but I'm gonna use MJ as the specific example. I saw how to properly lead. It was really cool to see someone take charge of a storyline and say, okay, this is what I have to do, and this is my part in it. And it gave me so much like power in my own storylines. I'm like, I'm seeing what MJ is doing. Let me lock in so I can at least say I gave 1,000% to what his 1,000,000% was.
Thanks. I make me cry, bro. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. There's like a bromance going on. I love it.
Guys, guys.
Listen, obviously there's some like it's a little scary. It could be a little scary on set. Maybe were
Very.
you guys ever actually like creeped out at anything ever?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Really?
Oh yeah. I can't spoil it, but there's this one thing that happens in episode one that was I don't want to say it's the scariest because it gets even scarier, but it really stuck with me. Like just seeing this visual. I can't spoil it, but it happens in the Campbell house, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it.
You'll know. You'll know.
Yeah,
That's awesome. So you guys were like actually scared. You didn't even have to pretend or anything like that.
exactly. It made it a lot easier. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Good, cool to know. You know it's fake too, right? Like it's
Yeah.
still scary. Hey, props to the props department, I guess.
Props to the prop department.
That's what I'm talking about. So how about in 3 words, can y'all describe each other's characters?
Ooh.
I'm gonna say for Kazai, I'm gonna say conspiratorial. Is that the right? Yeah, conspiratorial. That's the right word. Yeah,
Yeah.
Great
conspiratorial.
word.
And
Great
then
word.
I'm gonna say funny, and
Mm.
then I'm gonna say real,
Mm.
real,
Mm, love it.
All right. All right. So for MJ's character, Dylan Campbell, I'm going to go.
dumb.
No. I'm gonna
He's
go.
kind of dumb though.
No, at least I wouldn't even say dumb. I would just say
Naive.
naive. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Ooh.
naive in his ways, but he's also strong in his convictions. So naive, strong, and misguided.
This guy,
Ooh.
nice, nice.
Those are perfect, actually. Those both of them were perfectly encapsulates the character. That's awesome. So the show is set in the late 80s, right? Is there anything that you kind of wish was still around from that time period in our modern day here in 2024? Or is there any maybe clothing that you would totally add to your wardrobe from the 80s?
Because I had some cool clothes for sure, and
Yeah?
I actually got to keep some of the clothes. No, don't tell anybody. Only like 2 shirts,
Oh,
but definitely
sick.
the clothes and the music is what I would bring back for sure.
Music. That's
Yeah,
good.
that kind of. I honestly just say there's a lot about the '80s and that time that I wouldn't like back, but most of it, yeah. Like I remember saying very early on to my parents, like once I learned about this time in history, I was like, yo, why couldn't I have been born in the '80s? Like I really feel like I could have done so much during that time. So honestly, just the time frame, like it was such a interesting time in the world.
I love that. I'm curious, obviously, without giving anything away, what is the part of the series that you're most looking forward for audiences to see, or perhaps just take away, like a message, perhaps?
I'd probably say what I'm most excited for them to see is just the band playing together. You know, we had such a blast when we were able to do that because we went to band camp for like 3 weeks before we started filming, so we really had a lot of work to put in, and it was cool to see it show.
That's sick. How about you, Kazai?
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, in addition to that, I'm gonna go for the band members. I think it's really cool throughout the season that you see the camaraderie that they all have, but you also see the trials and tribulations of what a friendship is. And it's really cool to see how that's like stretched and how far it can be taken. And that's what I really hope like audiences take from it. It's like, your friends are humans too, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. That's awesome. How about going back to the 80s talk? Do you feel like there's maybe a certain type of style to acting that you kind of have to change to go back to the 80s? And what is that like?
We couldn't fist bump, or was it we weren't allowed to fist bump
Oh
because
yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
and then
That
like
wasn't a thing back then, huh?
yeah, right. I don't know
Oh,
who invented
interesting.
the fist bump, but like, and then also
What the
you couldn't
80s?
say you couldn't say dude to girls, like because now dude's kind of like gender fluid, but back then like you just couldn't like there was a lot of like little things that like we had to like correct. You know what I mean? Like slang and stuff like that. They're like nobody said that in the 80s,
There
dude.
was a line at some time where someone was like, I looked it up, and there was like a whole fiasco on set of like, can you say that? And everyone was like,
Right.
yeah, the thesauruses and dictionaries on that, like it can be said. So it was just being so specific about what is being said.
Wow. Okay, so Kazai's improv was definitely period checked a lot. Is
Yo,
that what I'm hearing?
most
Okay.
definitely. And the day
Cool, cool,
that
cool.
it wasn't, it would be like, it worked. Everyone's
Yeah.
good. Cool.
Yeah, and it would work great. And then this one person would be like, "Well, actually, they didn't say that in the '80s," and we're like, "Come
Oh
on,
man.
Come on, man. Let it
phone
slide.
again."
No one's gonna know. That's awesome. This show feels kind of campy, right? So do you guys have a favorite, maybe campy, scary movie or TV show that you were kind of able to do research, I guess, for this project?
I'm gonna say my favorite horror film is probably Krampus. Probably Krampus.
Love it. What
Um,
about you, Kazai?
I wouldn't even say it's campy, but it's definitely a horror movie I grew up on, which was like Final Destination. I feel like I saw it
Mm.
really early, and that kind of gave me the vibe of what I should be trying to achieve with Hysteria. So
That's awesome. Well, listen, thank you guys so much. Congratulations on putting together an incredible series, and can't wait to share it with the world.
Thank you
appreciate
very much. I would appreciate
Have a
that.
good one.
it. You as well.